Hello and welcome to another edition of NCCTV. So it is a pleasure for me to have in the studio founder and director of Heart in the Game, Greer Firestone. Hi Greer, how are you?
Lisa, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited
Yes.
to have you here and just to hear about Heart in the Game. So why don't you tell me about Heart in the Game? What is it?
It all started June 4th, 2011. My daughter graduated from Tower Hill. Proud papa, she was president of the class. 2 days later, her mom gives me a call on the phone. Grace is in the hospital. I couldn't get my arms around that.
Right.
Grace has had a heart attack. Ran down to Christiana. 1 o'clock in the morning, the doctor gets on his knee and says, there's a good chance we're going to lose her. Do you want to see her? Well, yes. ICU, induced coma, ventilator.
Right.
And Grace had suffered sudden cardiac arrest. 3 days later, she gets up, goes to the bathroom, and 10 days later, after an incredible,
Wow.
heart-wrenching Twilight Zone experience for the family, she leaves Christiana Hospital with a defibrillator in her.
Okay.
But she was one of the lucky ones, Lisa.
Yes.
And let me backtrack a bit by saying that at that point when Grace had this sudden cardiac arrest, her mom called 911. Within 4 minutes, the Newcastle County EMS were at the door.
Wow.
4 minutes. And in fact, from the research I've done, anything after 4 minutes, there's potential cognitive problems, even if a person survives the heart attack.
Awesome. Okay.
They paddled Grace 20 times that night. They did a mechanic where, because her veins collapsed, they literally drilled into her thigh to get the veins coming up again. On the way to the hospital, she stopped breathing. But the Newcastle County EMS would never, ever give up. And so I am blessed to have them in Newcastle County. A year later, I started doing research about, because I couldn't believe that a girl who had graduated from high school
Right.
with 15 varsity letters, no heart history on either side, could suffer such an ailment. So I went to state legislators and Kathy Cloutier and Bethany Hall Long, and we got all the stakeholders together, the Delaware Department of Health and Services, the nurses, the teachers, and we created the Grace Firestone Act for sudden cardiac arrest.
Okay.
And that was wonderful. It actually promotes coaches and ADs and personal trainers to have much more information about how to resolve issues with sudden cardiac arrest, AEDs, things like that. But independent of that, I then founded heartinthegame.org. And because if Grace had had a simple, non-invasive 5-minute EKG, we wouldn't have gone through this torment. I went to pediatric cardiologists at Nemours, and I said, if I can get this thing started, would you, pediatric cardiologist, evaluate the EKGs? And they said, absolutely, we'll do that.
Excellent.
So then, but one of the docs said, listen, an EKG, Greer, will save one life, but if you know how to do hands-only CPR and how to use an AED, an automatic external defibrillator, which is on the walls now of the schools around the state and all office buildings, you actually can save tons of lives. So I went to Tom Gordon. Grace's name was well known around the county in the EMS headquarters, especially because they had saved an 18-year-old's life. I asked Tom if I mounted heartinthegame.org, would he bring the Newcastle County EMS people in to train the parents and the children? He didn't blink. We are in, he said. So the first event we had now 2 years ago. We are now celebrating our second year of operation.
Right.
We had it at Springer Junior High. We screened about 190 kids that first event. We didn't know what we were doing, but somehow we got through it.
You got through it.
And we actually found one boy from Brandywine who was a three-star athlete, three-sport athlete.
Yes.
he went through, we had one of the pediatric cardiologists
Right.
there. And so he said, he took a look at the doc says, after he saw the EKG, let's do that again.
Okay.
So they did it again. Same result. The doc brought the father over and said, what's the boy doing now? Well, the boy's wrestling. He has to stop wrestling now, and you need to see a cardiologist next week.
Wow.
Well, 2 weeks later, that boy had a 9-hour operation at Nemours. A month after that, he was on the treadmill, the stress test, and stuff like that. The docs are going, wow, fantastic. Hit the playing field, boy. You're in
Right.
great shape. And
Right.
so we've had that success a couple
Right.
times.
You've had
in
some
the past
success
years.
stories, I
Yeah,
see. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So you guys have an event coming up. I know in 2016 you're going to hit the ground running. There's
Yes.
some great things happening with Heart in the Game. So why don't you talk about the next event and how families can get registered and what it involves?
Exactly right. Our first event, we are going to be aggressive. We only had 2 events last year in 2015, or it's still December now,
Right.
but we're going to go at least with 5 in
Okay.
2016.
I
And
like
it's a
it.
statewide mission. We're going
Yes.
to be in Sussex. We hope to be in Kent. But January 30th, we're going to be at P.S. DuPont Middle School. And January 30th, it's a Saturday. We go from 10 to 2.
Okay.
We wish people to be able to actually go online and register.
Okay.
No one can go through the EKG unless there's a consent from the parents and a bit of medical history as well. So if you go to heartinthegame.org and click on register, then it's an online registration.
Okay.
But even if you don't have a computer, for
Right.
example, or you say, I'm not sure of my schedule, but maybe I can make it, we will have stock consent forms that people
Okay.
can fill out that day.
So
as
walk-ins
well.
are welcome.
Walk-ins are absolutely
Okay, I
welcome.
like that.
Yeah.
And what is the
Yeah.
age of the children that you're looking to screen?
Sure. We generally, students in middle and high school
Okay.
should be the ones to be screened.
Okay.
Once in middle, once in high, because of the growth, obviously.
Right.
So we go from 10 to 19.
Okay.
If a 15-year-old comes in and they have a 9-year-old sibling,
Right.
if mom and dad
Yeah.
want that too.
Right.
But Lisa, also what we've done is expand the whole health aspect
Yes.
of Heart in the Game. In addition to the major things with EKG screening, which is free, everything is free, by the way, and the hands-only CPR and the AED, with the partnership we have with Nemours,
Yes.
we have a whole station about healthy eating, because we're so concerned about childhood obesity.
Right.
And we actually have 2 stations with regard to the addictions, the drug
Okay.
addictions.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Newcastle County Police were there with trap addiction at our last event
I like
last
that.
year.
Okay.
So it's an educational aspect, and what we also want to do is make this a real high-energy event, as we always do,
Right.
and have people, take a look around and say, gosh, I can learn a lot by
Yes.
coming to this one event
Right.
and devoting an hour or so to it.
Yeah, hour or so of your time. And I understand that you're introducing something new for the adults to actually be looked at. Talk about that a little bit.
We have done well, and we are pretty aggressive in getting out there. So we made a connection with Christiana Hospital, and they have an adult blood pressure ambassador program. So if mom and dad come in with the child on our events, they're actually going to be able to have blood pressure taken as well.
I like
if they
it,
wish.
yes.
And I got to say also, as far as mom and dad, and we have a lot of parents come in
Right.
with the kids, because especially with the junior high kids,
Right.
obviously. And to some extent, the 10 and 11, 12-year-olds are a little bit reticent about, are they going to be electrocuted,
Right.
But it is non-invasive.
Okay.
It's just a couple electrodes on the body, and they're done, and it's no big deal.
Okay.
Really, it's actually. But the fun thing is actually with the hands-only CPR, and the EMS people are so, they love being there. We love having them there, and we have a lot of fun. But the bonding experience about having the mom and dad on the floor with the dummies, and then at the end, everyone starts singing the Bee Gees disco tune.
Oh, really?
Staying Alive.
Oh, I love it.
Because Staying Alive, it's the same beat as
Oh,
what you're
yeah.
doing. Staying Alive.
Right.
Staying-
I like it.
And then, now, I don't think the EMS people from Newcastle County should quit their day jobs and try to go into singing.
Okay.
Because there has been some squawking, but it's all fun. You know, it's all
wow.
real good.
Well, Greer,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I'm so excited about this. I have an 11-year-old myself, so we will register and we will come out and support this. I'm so excited about the county exec being a part of it and
Oh,
helping with the mission and getting the word out. And the EMS, who's actually going through a renewal accreditation process right now. So that's
okay.
exciting that you could speak so highly of them. So it kind of
Yeah.
helps hit home why they're accredited. So I'm
I do
so
wanna
glad.
say one more-
Sure,
sorry,
please do.
This is open to all Delaware students. I mean, if we go to PS or we go to Sally's or Padua, we'll have 25 other schools represented from
there.
all around the county. So it doesn't matter where they're,
Right.
you know, where the kids go to school.
Right.
And a lot of homeschools come in because, you know.
Okay, perfect, yeah.
So,
I like
say
it.
that,
So it doesn't
yeah.
matter, right? It's at PS DuPont. It's just at the location. It doesn't mean that you have to be a PS DuPont student. So,
Exactly.
you know, anybody is welcome to go to heartinthegame.org and register for this event that happens January 30th between 10 and 2 p.m. As Greer has said, walk-ins are welcome, but we must have a consent for the child to be screened.
Exactly right.
So is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add, Greer, before we wrap it up?
I think we're in pretty good shape.
I
You did a
think
good job.
well, thank you so much. You were my first segment on this, so I'm
Ah.
excited about it. It was so
There you go.
easy because you had me fooled thinking that you weren't good at this, but you're very good. So hope that we'll see you on January 30th at Heart in the Game. Come out, get your kids screened, have some fun, and get screened yourself. And we'll see you next time on NCCTV Public Safety Videos.